Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update. It is 10 o'clock on May 21st and another day of severe weather in the Midwest. We'll talk about that. Looking at today, we had a decent amount of sunshine today, warmer than yesterday, but a lot of that on and off cirrus junk in the sky. So, kind of show you what it looked like. We did have some patches of blue sky, but more often than not, the sky looked like this. You can see all the contrails in the sky from all the cirrus. Well, not cirrus, but from the plains. It's typical you have when you have these warmer air masses coming in, getting in that return southwesterly flow. And it was a lot warmer if you were in New Jersey today versus Long Island. So let's go to the weather and hazards map, and we'll talk about the severe weather in the Midwest. But first, we'll talk about our area. So temperatures right now are in the mid 60s. Of course, it's still 70 in my alley right now. Not as huge of a difference tonight, but mid 60s, so it is definitely warmer tonight than it was last night. Definitely feel an increase in the humidity, too. Dew point is 57, so yeah, it's starting to increase a little bit, the humidity. Let's look at what our highs were today. You can still see, wow, it's still 70 in Jersey, so yeah, Miller Air Park 66, but still, yeah, quite warm. Holding on to the heat there a little more. So let's go to the... I'll show you what it's like in my alley. I think I've got a... There we go. 70 degrees. There I have the if you didn't believe me. So, still holding on to the heat. Pretty much the same temperature at LaGuardia. Highs. Definitely warmer than yesterday. And you could see a lot warmer if you were in New Jersey. Mid-80s there. It actually got up to 88 in Toms River. It's very warm there. Upper 80s. Mid to upper 80s. But as you headed out to Long Island, highs were generally around 70 in Suffolk County. Upper 60s to around 70, and maybe low 70s on the North Shore of Suffolk County. South Shore in the mid 60s. South Shore of Nassau, upper 60s. But Central Nassau definitely warmed up. Well, it only hit 70 at Farmingdale. Let's see, it was 75 at Hicksville, so probably in the mid and probably maybe even low 80s, perhaps 82 at Floral Park, so definitely a lot warmer. And then as you headed into LaGuardia also got up to 81. Central Park was 82. JFK was 78, but the real heat was in Jersey. 88, looks like 88 at Newark, and mid to upper 80s there in Jersey. A lot of heat there. But the heat is also not just in Jersey, but even if we go up to the Hudson Valley, they're into the upper 80s too. Looks like 87 at Tarrytown, and 86 at Peekskill, Newburgh 88. And the heat went all the way upstate, even all the way up into Albany. It was pretty hot there, too, as well, because, again, when you're upstate, people think you're upstate, it's going to be cooler, but you almost may as well be in Jersey because you're pretty far inland. 85 degrees for a high at Albany, and even way up into, as we go way up into Plattsburgh, it was still pretty hot over there, even low 80s there. So, yeah, this heat is pretty much encompassed most interior areas. You can see that. But looking at the highs, even in central areas of New England, 90 and upper 80s in New Hampshire. That's pretty hot. That's pretty hot for May. Much cooler, say, on the Capes. You can see what's going on. You really want to be on the shore, close to the shore to get the relief. Lows probably didn't drop back that much. Yeah, generally low to mid 50s, pretty much, though. Or some upper 40s, believe it or not. What a range. From 48 at Miller Air Park in the morning to 88 for a high. That's a 40-degree temperature range. I don't think it's really desert-like over there. The weather is like that as well. So let's go look at the almanac for today. And a high of 68 at Islip and a low of 53 puts us right around normal for the day. Though the high was actually 2 degrees below normal. Central Park had a high of 83. So, yeah, warmer there for sure. You can see the effect that the ocean made. So Central Park was at 83. That's 10 degrees above normal for the high. The low 58. So it puts them 7 degrees above normal for the day. And then we go to Newark. 87 was reported there. So, for a high. Though I think the other map said 88. So, either way, it was pretty hot in Jersey. And it's going to be even hotter in Jersey for tomorrow. Yeah, pretty pretty warm day, depending on where you were across the area today. Uh, so let's look at the radar, and there were some pretty significant thunderstorms actually that popped up around Albany. It looks like there's a line that's now going through the Adirondacks into Vermont. But the real severe weather, the real bad stuff, is over here in it looks like Wisconsin, and maybe going down into parts of Illinois. And then we had a really nasty outbreak. I guess this is what's left of it today. It happened earlier, but we had a very nasty outbreak in Iowa. And if we look here, tornadoes, dozens of violent tornadoes devastate town and destroy wind turbines. Oh my gosh, look at this. Destroying wind turbines and another. So we have wind turbines that have been destroyed by this as well. Multiple tornadoes were reported. Look at this destruction. So very, very bad situation. Here's another tornado around Red Oak, Iowa. So Iowa seemed to be ground zero for the tornadoes today. Looking at the weather and hazards map, let's take this out. And we will go ahead and we will look at the... we'll keep it at station plot. We have a broad area of tornado watch in effect here. From Wisconsin... all the way down, you can see, look at this. There's some pretty strong straight line winds with this storm, too. It's gusting to 61 at Monroe right now. So we have this broad area of tornado watch, all the way stretching all the way from, all the way down from Kansas, all the way up into Wisconsin. And I see a number of red areas which indicate tornado warnings. So let's go here and we'll go ahead and we'll look at severe weather warnings here. And oh my gosh, these are some pretty big tornado warnings here. So we've multiple very large tornado warnings in Wisconsin right now. And I'm wondering if this is going to threaten Milwaukee. You can see right around where the tornado warning storms are. We have some pretty strong wind gusts here, up to 52 miles an hour here. So yeah, it's these storms right here that we're looking at right here on this radar. These storms look pretty nasty. This looks pretty nasty, and I'm probably generating a lot of lightning too, I bet. Oh yeah, a lot of lightning being generated here, and also down here as well. It looks like St. Louis has been hit hard as well. We've got a lot of severe weather going on right now, for sure, in this area here. This is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. So, so this is what's going on here. We got the severe weather going on, and we've also had a lot of power outages as a result of the severe weather. Iowa has a lot of power outages in certain counties, you can see here, scattered around. So it looks like Marshall. Let's see, one of the counties was hit hard. I know that. You have a lot in Polk County, which is I think Polk County is a metro area. So we have a lot of people without power right now, and I'm sure that it's now starting to affect Wisconsin as well. Yep. So we're starting to see these storms cause more damage. And again, let's go over these tornado warnings here. Or we'll go to that in a moment here. All right, we have 3 different tornado warnings. This one is huge. For southwestern Forest, southeastern Oneonta, southern Menominee, and northern Oconto and eastern land. And it's also severe thunderstorm warning on top of that, of course. Then we have another tornado warning here. It's not showing up on the thing. And then we have another huge tornado. All right, that one's not showing up either. I'm clicking it. I'm not getting the... Oh, there's the tornado warning here. This is for... is this for Milwaukee? So, this is definitely threatening Milwaukee. This is definitely not a good situation at all. So here we go again with more severe weather. We knew today was going to be active. Oh, and then we've got a little more over here. Another tornado warning here um, in Arkansas. So, yeah, we've got a lot of severe weather. We knew it was going to be a very active day today. Let's look at the satellite here, and we'll zoom this out. And you can see the storms that popped over upstate, but those were nothing. Although I think they did have some hail to them, if you saw my post. There's nothing compared to what's going on in the Midwest. So the upper Midwest, look at that. Yeah, you can see that really. And it's all because of a pretty strong area of low pressure right here. Unusually strong, and look at that. You can see all the severe weather just popping off over there, right there. Look at that. That's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. I could put the lightning thing on so you can see the amount of lightning here that's being generated. Kind of gives you somewhat of a gauge of what's going on here. But, yeah, these storms are really... And this is the system that will probably... This front here is what's going to be probably affecting us on Thursday that we have to watch for. So let's go to the Storm Prediction Center now. And you can see that in moderate risk. So they have a moderate risk right over Iowa. It was over Iowa. Now it's moving into Wisconsin. And then that's surrounded by an enhanced risk. And then the slight risk goes all the way down to Texas. So very active situation. And if we go click at the storm reports here, you can see here on the map, all those blue dots are wind damage. The green is hail reports. And the red, those are tornadoes. And there's been actually 21 tornadoes today. 21 tornadoes. 223 reports of wind damage and 126 reports of hail. So that just gives you a clue as to, again, this is going to be a record. April was a record amount of severe weather. May, we're going to have a record amount as well. You can see, and then we go into tomorrow, and here we go again with more severe weather again. Enhanced risk. Texas, northeast Texas, into Oklahoma, into Missouri there. This is going to be another, and part of Kansas too, just a little bit part of it there in it as well. And that slight risk goes all the way up into the western Pennsylvania, Great Lakes, Ohio, parts of West Virginia, and so tomorrow it's going to be another active day. And then we go to day 3, and they've got a marginal risk. This is Thursday. Marginal risk for severe weather for our area. That'll be the threat for our area right now. Some of the models are kind of bullish on having severe weather on Thursday for our area. Looking at the Weather Prediction Center, you see that you got this big low pressure area here, very intense, almost like a triple point low there. Really intense low pressure system. And then as we go into tomorrow, that low kind of moves up into Canada, but we still have the front, and then there's another area of low pressure developing along that front. We're moving into day 3. Kind of sits there in the Midwest, but you can see there's the front moving over us on Thursday. So let's look at the models now. And I mean, one thing that'll stand out to you right now is just how deep this low pressure system is. It's just incredibly deep. Let's go back to the Weather Prediction Center for a moment, and we'll go look at our surface analysis, because this kind of shows you, look at how deep, again, this low is right here. Very deep. It actually looks like it's got 2 centers. Very, very deep low pressure system. So as we go through the week, you'll see we're still in that ridge position. All right. That low goes, what an unusual track. It just goes straight north into Canada, even showing some snow on the backside of it. Believe it or not. I guess it's going to pull down some chilly air right around. But, I mean, the track of this low and the intensity of it is pretty amazing. Staying dry tomorrow, but Thursday is the day that we have to worry about this front coming through. And this is the 18Z run of the GFS, which keeps trying to slow this front down. This is the 18Z run of it. If I go to the 12Z run, which seems to make more sense to me, you'll see that this front comes through, and we're going to have that rain with the possible. And then Friday, we get a break. I'm not going to talk about the weekend in this weather update. We just have too much with the severe weather going on right now. It's just too early right now to really have until we have a better model guidance. And we guys got to talk about the severe weather threat we've got to get through for Thursday. So let's look at the HRRR model here. I got the 0Z run of the HRRR, which actually should show what's going to happen on Thursday. So let's look at the dew points and wind flow first. Obviously, we got the south-southwest flow. Becomes a little, maybe just a tad more southwesterly tomorrow, but I still think there'll be enough of a sea breeze. So Long Island avoids the heat. But Jersey's going to roast. The city's probably, at least part of it's going to roast. That southerly flow. And here we go. You notice the humidity increasing. Here we go up to Thursday. And look at the very high humidity that we have. And the winds, looks like they're almost west-southwesterly. So that could make it warmer. And right now, we only got up to 0Z. You can see the front's not through yet. So you can see the cooler air right here. And this is quite a contrast in air masses that we have here. Looking at temperatures, not going to drop much tonight. Probably 50s, maybe 50s, probably 60s, at least where I'm at. Maybe some mid-50s in some of the other areas. But I don't think it'll be as cool as tonight. Probably low around 60. And then tomorrow, it's going to really be hot. I think Jersey, you have a good chance of getting to 90. The city's probably going to get well into the upper 80s, perhaps. For northern Nassau, probably going to be around 80. I think maybe low 80s, perhaps middle, perhaps mid 80s. And then Suffolk County probably have temperatures upper 70s. And the South Shore, of course, will be cooler, and then the temperatures drop off, of course, in the evening. And then for Thursday, right, not going to drop much back. Tomorrow night, it's going to be kind of a muggy night. And then Thursday could be quite hot, actually. It could wind up being well into the 80s for much of Long Island, I think, if we get that westerly flow. And that actually is going to help the thunderstorms hold together when they do move through. So let's take a look and see what the HRRR is doing with this front right now. So moving this along, here we are into Thursday. It does bring a couple of little light showers in over Jersey, and then HRRR kind of not showing, not looking too impressive here. It's got like isolated, doesn't really have a solid line, but I'm not necessarily sure if that's what's going to happen, because let's go. Oh, we don't have the 18Z run anymore. They got rid of it, but the 18Z run was showing a nice line. It really was, but I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. That was showing a nice line. Let's go look at the NAM 3. And we don't have enough of the 0Z NAM 3, but we'll go ahead and look at the 18Z NAM 3. And see what you see that V in the front there. You see that. So the NAM just has the severe weather over Jersey, and then kind of just kind of almost develops like a little wave along it or whatever. So, but still, looking at the way this front is shaped, this could turn out to be quite more active than what the models are saying at this point. So kind of looked at the models before I did the weather update, and let's go to the FV3. That's the other one that we can use, because you don't have enough of the 0Z running. We can use the 12Z, which is, again, this is the high resolution GFS. See what it's doing with the front, and not much at all. I wish I could have showed you that HRRR, because that was definitely more active. Or we can do the HDRPS, which is always the more experimental model run that we have here. And you can see it actually develops an isolated shower, thunderstorm but to me, it looks like there's a lot of severe weather popping up here. So, given the conditions that we have, that's why I think we do have that threat. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the GFS. We're going to see how this handles the temperatures for the next couple of days. So this is tomorrow. You can see definitely warmer than today, I think. And then Thursday could wind up being actually the warmest day on Long Island, because it's going to be more of a southwesterly flow. And I think we could have mid-80s. It's going to really be like summer. It's going to be warm. It's going to be humid. It's going to be pretty uncomfortable out there. And then that's going to feed those thunderstorms. So let's go to the skies. Not showing much in the way of clouds tomorrow. Could be some of that cirrus around, though, again. I could look at a sounding here. The lines are pretty far apart, surprisingly. They are pretty far apart on this. And then, obviously, as we get to Thursday, we'll have more in the way of clouds. And then Friday, we should have maybe start with clouds, and there could be more sun. More sun probably north of the city with that. And then if we look at the dew points here, you'll see the drier air. It's kind of struggling to get in here a little bit. This front kind of just kind of washes out a little bit, a little bit. But we got to get through this thunderstorm risk first. Let's go to the RGEM, and we'll look at the skies on that. Because you have some of the 0Z RGEM in, which I'll show you, and you'll see I don't think we're going to see any fog. It's showing some fog way offshore, but I don't think we'll see it. But it's showing plenty of sun for tomorrow, so there will be a lot of sun for tomorrow. Go to the that was the 18Z run actually, so we don't have the full 18Z run. And then as we get into Thursday, you'll see we'll have some sun, and then the storms build, and then it clears out for Friday. Let's see what the RGM does with this as well. So this is the RGM. Definitely showing the activity more over Jersey. But again, with that V like that, we could have a decent line pop up. You know, these models just, you know, that far out, it's still hard for the models to really say what's going to happen. Let's see what this has here. Yeah, these lines are pretty far apart, so maybe we won't have as much cirrus tomorrow as we had today. Perhaps. Because I know the sky was... I mean, at times it looked better than other times, but... let's go to the Ventus Sky site. So I want to use this, and we're going to look at Thursday and see if we can get any Cape readings for Thursday here. All right, yeah, there is Cape here. Decent Cape, too, especially off to the west. Yeah. Really good Cape, especially over Jersey for Thursday. Yeah, this is pretty good here. So this is what I mean about, and then lifted index, very good. So that's what I mean. I think Thursday we have a decent chance of seeing some severe thunderstorms in our area. So that's our next chance for stormy weather. But anyway, if I put this back to temperature, you'll see again what tomorrow will be like. You'll see Jersey will be roasting, but there'll be a decent breeze to keep us cool. But it'll be warm. Even Whale inland, even Albany is going to be up perhaps near 90 tomorrow. So you can see this kind of visualizes the heat that's over us. Look at how far up the heat is going, too. It's going well into eastern Canada here. You see, this is our storm right here. All right. The storm pulling up into Canada. But, yeah, a lot of warmth. Big ridge in the east. You can see that right there. Big ridge in the east. So the last thing we'll talk about, obviously, smoke. Let's see. I didn't see that much on the satellite. Let's look at the RAP smoke model. I don't think there's going to be that much to look at here. Hopefully not. Let's see what we got going on here. This will take a minute or two to load. But not really showing too much. Yeah, not really showing too much. It's possible as we get into Thursday, we may actually have a little bit of it, perhaps. And that smoke on Thursday won't be from Canada. It'll actually be from all these wildfires burning in Central America right now. So, yeah, that's right. So, anyway, that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. As we crank up the heat tomorrow, especially if you're inland, it's going to be a warm one. But if you're on the South Shore or you're out in Suffolk County, I don't think it's going to be all that bad. But here in the urban hellhole, I'll have to have the AC cranking, keep that air conditioner on because it's going to be warm. But the worst of the heat going to be in Jersey, and then Thursday will be could be a very interesting day. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. Have a good night.